In this video lesson, we will learn about the law of cosines. So, what exactly is the law of cosines? It has to do with triangles. So let's say you got a triangle, and you know two of its side lengths. Let's say side 1 and side 2 here. And if you know the angle between the two sides, then you can find out what the length of the third side is, the one opposite of the angle. So there's a formula for that, and that formula is called the law of cosines. And now I'm going to write down this formula. If we square the first side and the second side, then we subtract 2 times the product of these two sides times the cosine of the angle between them. Then this is equal to the square of the third side. So now we have a whole bunch of squares of sides, so this is actually very similar to the Pythagorean Theorem. And I'll show you how exactly that's related. And then we're going to do a few examples to make sure we've got this down. So let's just see what happens if we apply this law of cosines to a right triangle. So here we have just some right triangles, side lengths A, B, and C. And we're going to apply the law of cosines. And we know that there's that 90-degree angle, so we do a squared plus b squared minus 2 times their product times the cosine of the angle between them is 90, because it's a right triangle and A and B are the legs. So we have the cosine of 90 degrees, and then that equals to c squared. But cosine of 90 degrees is actually equal to 0, which means that that whole part of the expression disappears, and all we're left with is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which is exactly the Pythagorean theorem. So really, this law of cosines is kind of like a improved version of the Pythagorean theorem. It's the Pythagorean theorem, but it works for all sorts of triangles, as long as you know that angle. Alright, so now it's some time to do some examples. So we have triangle ABC here, and we have 2 of the lengths labeled, and an angle labeled, and we want to find the third length. So here we can just apply the law of cosines directly. So we have 3 squared plus 4 squared, those are the two sides, minus 2 times 3 times 4, the two sides again, times cosine, and the angle between them is 55 degrees. So it's cosine of 55 degrees. And this is equal to what's labeled the third side x, and that'll be x squared. So now we're going to simplify this expression. 3 squared plus 4 squared is 9 plus 16, and that's 25. So we got 25 minus, and 2 times 3 times 4, 6 times 4, and that is equal to 24. So we have 25 minus 24 cosine of 55 degrees. And that is equal to x squared. So now we can plug this into a calculator, and the calculator will give us a decimal, and it will be x squared is equal to, and then that whole 25 minus 24 cosine of 55, that is 11.23. Then we take the square root to find that x is equal to 3.35. And that is the answer. The length of AB is 3.35. Alright, so now we have more of a word problem. We don't have a drawing. So, since there's no drawing, it really helps to have a drawing, and we're going to make one. First, I make angle A, which is 85 degrees. And it's relatively easy to draw. I just make something close to 90 degrees, but not quite that much. And then AB has got length 4, and AC has got length 9. So we want to make AC about twice as long as AB. So here we have a fairly good drawing of what's going on. And we want to find length BC. So again, we're just going to apply the law of cosines because we're given two sides and the angle between them. I'm going to label BC x. Then we have 4 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 4 times 9, where 4 and 9 are the two given sides, and the angle between them is 85. So it's cosine of 85. And this whole expression is equal to x squared. So now I'm going to simplify again. 4 squared plus 9 squared is 16 plus 81 is 97. So get 97 minus, and then 2 times 4 times 9 is 8 times 9 is 72. And I do these calculations by hand because it's quick, but if you don't want to, you can just use a calculator. In any case, you're going to have to use a calculator at this point because this expression that I just underlined, you're going to get a decimal, and the calculator will figure that out for you, and it's 55.70. So now we just got to take the square root to find x, and we find that x is equal to 7.46. Alright, so that's the answer. I hope it helped, and thank you for watching this video lesson.